Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Sunday episode of the Parlay with Awthentik and The Beard. Scotty Booms is not with us today, but he will be back on Tuesday. Shout out to our boy Scotty Booms. So, if this is your first time stepping into this show, what we do is every Sunday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we go over every single game, the fantasy plays, sims and stardoms, and all the betting NFL odds. If you have any questions at any point in time, make sure you throw those in the chat. If you're watching us on Facebook, go ahead and join us on YouTube if you want us to see any of your questions. Shout out to everybody who's watching us right now on Twitch and Periscope as well.
Let me get them comments up one time. Okay, what up, Glock? What up, man? Always bright and early.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Tim? How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining us. So, Awthentik, how you feeling today? Game day.
It's game day. I'm feeling pretty good, man. This COVID situation in the NFL is a little bit crazy right now, man. And it was probably one of my main concerns at the beginning of the year is when a star player gets knocked out, by COVID being the issue here at hand, how teams would react and how the NFL would react as well. And, now we just got the news just a couple of days ago that Cam Newton's not going to be playing. And a lot of these games are in limbo here. Some of them supposed to be rescheduled to Monday, some to Tuesday, they saying. I just hope we can make it through the NFL year, man, because it's looking super sketchy right now, yo.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And, hopefully the news that I've heard this morning was that everybody else on the Patriots test came back negative. So that is a good sign. And the player that tested positive for the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe, was a third-string quarterback or a practice squad quarterback. So if you have Patrick Mahomes, I was telling Awthentik this earlier today because he has Patrick Mahomes as a starting quarterback, and you don't have a backup quarterback on your roster.
Are we sure we want to put that play out there, though, man? Because, man, I think the league might be listening. I don't know. But go ahead,
I don't know. It's kind of early. It's kind of early for all of them,
Yeah, fact.
A lot of them don't join us on Sunday mornings until, they roll out of bed. But, Nick Mullins, who is probably a quarterback that I would imagine might still be out there for a lot of you. He is scheduled to play tonight. So if you picked him up, worst case scenario, you'll find the Patriots and Chiefs will be playing on Monday or Tuesday by the end of today. So that means if they don't, then you can kind of swap in Nick Mullins for Sunday night's football as your player.
Get a little bit of time with that.
Yeah.
I think I might just take that risk, man. Pat Mahomes down to Nick Mullins. I don't trust Nick Mullins. I mean, even though he's been playing well as a backup for a couple years here, we talked about that. He's been 3 years backing him up over there in San Fran and doing a pretty damn good job. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go with Nick Mullins. Shout out to 808 Cliff, man. What's up, bro? You definitely know we going big blue today, man. We got to get a dub today, man. This is feeling crazy, man.
We're also talking about how the Giants and the Washington football team are the only two teams on today's slate that are double-digit spreads and double-digit underdogs.
Rightfully so, man.
It's going to be an interesting day of football, that's for sure. But any day of football is a good day of football in my book.
Yeah, it's better than no football. Gotta admit that, man. And I can't watch college, man. I've been trying to get involved, man. I just cannot watch college ball. It's just too many. I know you were telling me that this year would be a good year to do it because a lot of the divisions were like off because of COVID and whatnot. And, it just be too many games, too many players. I saw a dude for Kansas State, this little running back that I was super hype on. They were talking about he could be the next Darren Sproles because I think Sproles went to Kansas State. And, man, like 3 days later, I couldn't even remember that dude's name, man.
It's tough. It is. And there are some crazy games. University of Oklahoma is 1-2. Like, they were like one of the favorites.
Oh, that's sketch.
And they're 1-2. It's a wrap for them pretty much. So we got some other faithful viewers popping in. Cookie Monster, what's good? He is on the tank for treasure for you guys.
What up? Yeah, I know, man. I know. I'm not mad at Giants fans giving in, man, because, dude, I mean, we've been awful. This team been terrible. So, man, any strategy might be a good strategy at this point because whatever's going on right now is just not working.
And my man Waterfly asked if it's too early to start drinking. There is a saying that it is 5 o'clock somewhere, so go ahead and get it in. So let's go ahead and we will jump in to these games. First game that we are going to look at is a game that was kind of sketchy at first. Last night, one of the players tested positive for the New Orleans Saints when they landed in Detroit. News broke early this morning that the test was a false positive and everybody has tested negative. So the game is on, and that is a good sign. So we have the New Orleans Saints at the Detroit Lions. The Saints are 3-point favorites. The over-under is 54. The Saints need to win. Both of these teams are 1-2 right now, so this is kind of a big game.
Yeah, it's definitely a big game. And crazy thing is, man, is the Lions could be 2-1. Man, they're a drop touchdown, game winner against the Bears away from being 2-1 here. And people will be looking at them more of a middle of the road team. But then when you see the Lions and you see 1-2, you think, oh, they back on that same old kind of track they was on in the past couple years. The Saints defense has been bad, and they're banged up today too. I think Janoris Jenkins is out in the secondary, and they got a few more people that are out on that defense. I can't remember the names. I don't know, man. This is a tough one. I kind of like the Lions a little bit. But I got to go Saints with this one, man. I definitely got to go Saints, and I think they'll cover the 3-2. And you said the over/under is at what?
54.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. Give y'all the early. We gonna get there.
We gotta get a overlay.
Yeah, I'll get you on
so
that.
I can drop that on every time you say that. I definitely think they're gonna hit the over on 54. A lot of these games so far this year have been hitting the over, which is kind of crazy because you would think that with no preseason, no training camp, and all that good stuff, that these offenses would be a little slow. But a lot of games have been hitting the over, so I definitely like the over on this. Man, it is crazy the action that Alvin Kamara is getting right now.
Dog, dude is balling. He's still leading them in receiving, right? And rushing. I mean,
everything.
He's a super surprise, man. I told people about it. In our fantasy league, he was super overlooked. And even though he's been one of the top 5-6 guys the past couple years in fantasy, but people were just overlooking him, thinking that he wasn't going to be able to carry that load of that team throughout this year without a real second back. Because they went out there and they got Murray. Did they get Murray? The Saints, did they get? Nah.
Yeah, they got Latavius Murray.
The Saints got Latavius Murray, who's a good back to bring in. He kind of reminds me of LeGarrette. It usually could work if that one back is pretty good. And Kamara, man, fantastic job, man. You got to admit, he's just been running that rock, and his runs have been tough, man. He had one call back last week where it was just filthy juice on the play, man. He's probably the best running back in the league, low key, bro.
I mean, it's crazy. It's not crazy, but we have talked about that on multiple occasions over the past couple of years.
Yeah,
like he's always been in and around my top 5 running backs in the league, just because I love his versatility. And a lot of times what happens is people think that because you're a pass catching running back and you have speed, that they forget about the fact that he's not scared to lower his shoulder on somebody.
Yeah.
And I think that that's super important because there's a difference between being a versatile running back, somebody who can catch the ball, and somebody who can run the ball. When there's somebody that is versatile in that aspect and in their running aspect, meaning where they can give you the and they can give you the speed burst, and they can give you the douche. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, Sean Payton, I think, is a little bit responsible for the fans and media thinking on Kamara, because I don't know if you remember when Mark Ingram sat out the first 4 games, I think that was.
Yeah.
And when he got back, Kamara was balling those first 4 games, right? But when they brought Mark Ingram back, they gave him the bulk of the carries just right off the bat. Yep. And then Kamara's fucking production just went super down. So it was man, are they kind of not invested in my guy? What's going on here? You know what I mean? So I think Kamara, Sean Payton kind of gave him a step back forward with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or a step backwards with that.
For sure. And so in this game, fantasy-wise, I mean, Kenny Galladay, he came back last week off the hamstring injury, and I remember everybody was pretty much scared to touch him because of that injury. He performed pretty well. I think he's definitely somebody to look out for. Adrian Peterson on all the daily fantasy sports, DraftKings, he's still super cheap, and he's getting a bulk of the carries. I mean, he's getting around 70 yards a game on average, I believe. So, like, that's super important. You know, if you need a running back to kind of fill out your DraftKings roster for super cheap, he's definitely an option. I mean, it depends, though, on how this game goes. The Saints could possibly get up real early, and then, Matthew Stafford, he's liable to throw 40 times a game every game. That's for sure. But I mean, Kamara is definitely the play here. And I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Saints come out on top. I think they cover the spread, and I think they also hit the over. My man Kyle in the building. What's good, Kyle? Said I need to see him find the end zone.
Alvin Kamara and Adrian Peterson are both averaging exactly 4.9 a carry.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, Adrian Peterson, the dude's a machine.
AP's got more yards. Wow. That's got 10 more carries, but he's got more yards. That's interesting.
That's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
You just don't think about it until you see those stats. It's wild.
I'll never forget that time we was at Rose Bar with Fats and Pat, and Adrian Peterson was in that joint in a button-up. We talked about it last season. He was in that joint in a button-up looking like he was going to an office job, yo, and he was wasted. Man,
is so funny. Every time I see it. What's going on, Troy? Troy's in the building. Say he's got his Stafford jersey on today.
Yeah, I got the Eli jersey. I took it off. I wanted to get a little more fresher on the air.
Galladay said he's looking like a fantasy stud.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Troy. We're going
to see. All right, let's hit the next game.
Let's get it.
Got the Arizona Cardinals 2-1 at the Carolina Panthers 1-2. The Arizona Cardinals are 3-point favorites. The over-under is 51.5. I mean, Arizona's looking for a bounce-back game here. I will say this about the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers, they look like they're competing every game. It's kind of interesting. Like, I was talking about the Washington football team earlier this week, and I was talking about how I was missing that sort of just mentality of, like, it just didn't look like the level of excitement was there for the players. Like, there just wasn't a lot of, like, step on your throat, like, just gridiron, sort of action. And I see that in Carolina. Carolina, it looks like they've been, they're putting their best effort forward every game. And Mike Davis, who's stepping up for Christian McCaffrey, looks solid.
How did he do last week? Because you were saying he'd be a player to pick up last year.
He was great. Performed. He gave me 20-plus points, I think, on every fantasy platform. So a lot of people were worried about him as a pass-catching running back because that's such a big part of the Carolina offense. But he was catching the ball really well. Kyler Murray last week threw 3 interceptions. Issue for him, but I'm looking for a bounce back game for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the question here is Hopkins. Hopkins is questionable.
Yeah, he was questionable coming into this.
But I think he's going to play from last I saw. We will definitely be checking out the actives and inactives that drop at 11:30, so we will let you guys know. I think the Cardinals definitely are going to win this game. I think they'll cover. I'm a little suspect on the over-under, though. But Carolina seems to be putting up points towards the end of these games. Like, I think they score a majority of their points in that third and fourth quarter action. Are they going to get there? I think I'm going to take the under on this game at 51.5. DJ Moore, wide receiver, Carolina Panthers, definitely somebody you want to be looking at as far as a pickup in DraftKings. He is really undervalued and underpriced right now, so I think that's a good one to have. Kenyon Drake might be a little sleepy pick too. Carolina's got a pretty bad run defense, so I look at Kenyon Drake as well. If you're looking for a sleeper wide receiver on the end of the Arizona Cardinals, Andy Isabella. This is his second year. He's had a couple of big games over his course of his first 2 years. He definitely has that big play, big threat capability. So definitely keep your eye on him. Shout out to my man Anthony, the Bluegrass Picker. He said, hit the thumbs up, y'all. Helps to get the live out. Yes, thank you.
Appreciate
Don't forget, hit that thumbs up,
Bluegrass.
everybody. We appreciate it. We got a quick question. We're going to get to that as soon as Authentic tells us what he thinks about this game.
Man, Cardinals, Panthers. You're right. The Panthers they're playing gritty football. But I think where they're struggling is the defense, man. Not stopping the run that well, and with passing their ninth, they've allowed the most pass yards, the ninth most pass yards. I think Kyler Murray's going to just go off in this game. Carolina Panthers also like to play a lot of zone defense, a lot of cover two, and I think Kyler Murray's going to be real effective against that, man. You don't want to just be trying to spy him and sit back in the zone. He'll be able to eat that up with his legs. Yeah, man, I don't think they get over. I mean, I got to take the under in this, and yeah, I think the Cardinals will cover 3.
Yeah, there we go. We do have a question about the Chiefs situation. What are your thoughts on Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I know. Did you hear the announcers last game? Helaire.
So
every time. I think that's
how
we've been saying it wrong.
I think that's how they say it. So I've been saying it wrong. So I wanted to try my best. Shout out my man Clyde. Trying to hook you up with the last name. Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
Should I gamble and leave him in or put someone else? So funny situation here. I actually do have Clyde Edwards on one. He's the only Chiefs player I got lucky and was able to get in all of my fantasy drafts, all 4 leagues. I actually have him in Troy's league. Now I don't really have a fortunate situation where I have this sort of like late swap player on my roster. I'm just going to apply this same sort of technique to anybody that has the Patriots or the Chiefs. If you have a player in that you're going to be playing in the 4:00 game or in the night game or the Monday night game, I would put that player on your roster in the spot that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is in, and then just keep that spot with that player until you get more news. Based upon the news that we received this morning, I think it's going to be a good to go. So I personally I've left, also because I don't have any other options really, I left Clyde Edwards in there. But if you have that option of having a player that you can slot in that position at a 4:00 Sunday night game or Monday night game, keep that player in that position just so you don't end up with a 0 if they don't play. And if they do play, you have that option. Hopefully the news will break by, hopefully by 4:00 game, if not 4:00 game, by the 9:00 game.
Now, let me ask you this. Are any fantasy leagues directly trying to do anything that might affect this, like with the makeup of these games or anything like that? Would they go back and give you the points? Is it guaranteed going to be a 0 if they don't get to these games by Tuesday?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Hey, Ben Ball, I don't know if you in the chat, but I'm going to have to holler at you as the commissioner because I got like 3 Saints players on my team. I got maybe the best stack in the league with Chiefs players with Tariq Hill and Patrick Mahomes, and I got the Chiefs defense. Bro, something got to give here, so we're going to have to chat it up a little bit better. I don't know.
The only thing that you can do as a commissioner in your roster.
See, I think that's very interesting because like if the team does get to play the 16 games, then there'll be one game that pretty much what just goes. Will they add it to that week?
Okay. Our cameraman technician man, who's off in Massachusetts, he's got the inside information right now in New England.
Nice.
And he says Schefter confirmed Chiefs and New England Patriots 7:05 p.m. kickoff Monday. We got a doubleheader.
Woo! Now, what's the other Monday night game? Do we know the other Monday night game?
The other Monday night game is Packers and Falcons.
Well, and they'll probably kick off at the same time, so you think we'll probably have 2 games?
There'll be about an hour and 20 minutes after.
So, there'll be 2 games running at the same time. Wish we had a West Coast one so we could get that late 10 o'clock Monday night.
That looks like it's going to be a authentic double stream special.
Hey, maybe, man. We'll see what's up with that. I know Entertainer licking his chops right now. Like, man, I'm about to be on live 2 games. This is going to be lit.
Yeah, so that's where we're at for the Cardinals and the Panthers. Don't forget, if you're watching us on Facebook and you have some questions you want to ask us, head over to YouTube. The link to the YouTube should be in the comments section of the live videos on Facebook for all of you watching on Facebook. All right, next game we're going to get to is an NFC East matchup. Cleveland Browns, who are 2-1, I believe, at the Dallas Cowboys, who are 1-2. The Cowboys are 4.5 point favorite, and the over/under is 56. What you like about this game, Awthentik?
I mean, I'm liking the Cowboys, man. I think the Cowboys came out and, I thought the Cowboys were going to go 0-4 because their schedule was so tough coming out those first 4 weeks with the Rams, the Falcons, and week 3 was Seattle. And, I mean, they came out and they showed up. I mean, the pass interference call at the end of the Rams game, the Cowboys could have another win. They could have a win here. And the Browns pretty much beat 2 rookie quarterbacks when you think about it. Joe Burrow, who they barely beat the Bengals. They running the rock very well. And they had the one game where their passing game was clicking on Thursday night. I believe that was the one against the Bengals. They just still don't look like they clicking on all cylinders quite. The Cowboys offense is on fire. Number 1 offense in the league according to passing yards here, and they lit it up against the Seahawks. I mean, Seahawks pass defense is so garbage. But the Browns going to come out try to control this game with running the rock. We already know that. I mean, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, probably the best duo, dual-headed running back monster in the NFL right now. If the Cowboys could come out and if they keep them under 30, I think they could win this game. You know what I'm saying? I'm going Cowboys in this game. I'm definitely going Cowboys. I'm gonna take the over. Oh man, Cookie Monster, I've been on them Cowboys, bro. You know it, man. I think they deserve it because I was literally taking a number 2 on them at the beginning of the season, talking about they was gonna go 0-4. So I got to reel it back just a little bit here and get them back on board. But yeah, man, I'm going Cowboys in this, and I'm gonna take the over. What's the spread here?
The spread is 4.5.
Man,
the over/under is 56.
4.5. I literally think the Browns are going to lose by 4. So
you think the Browns cover?
I think the Browns cover, yeah. But that could get crazy. Don't let this Cowboys offense come out, put up 2 touchdowns, go up 14-0. Okay. Because then what the Browns going to do? They can't keep running the rock. Odell Beckham going to be just throwing tantrums, crying, trying to get the ball, 12 targets, 2 catches or something crazy.
Look, this was going to happen, in my opinion. The Browns are going to control this game.
I know you want that.
I mean,
Cookie Monster's going to like this assessment.
Look, this is an opportunity for the Browns because you always want to control the ball when you're playing against a high-flying offense. That's obvious, okay? But the Browns' rushing game is legit. I think as much as we can talk about the flukeness of some of their wins and their opponents, I think we can all agree that the Browns' running game is legit.
Super legit.
Right? I mean, Nick Chubb is just he's a machine. He's one of those machine running backs. You can give him the ball 20, 30 times. But to be able to do that and have Kareem Hunt, so say they get stopped on a second down, you could bring in Kareem Hunt on third down.
And with Kareem Hunt, this is the thing too. Chubb, the kind of runner who could get plugged at the line, right? Kareem Hunt, what he's showing you this year, and we can't forget Kareem Hunt, when he was leaving the Chiefs, he was the top back in the league pretty much. He was one of the best. With him, he's the kind of back that I feel like offenses really can't stop him because he can catch out the backfield. He does got that scat back ability to be able to juke you, shake you out your boots, but he also got the ability to run right between the tackles. All 3 games, he's been over 80 yards. Nick Chubb, week 1, was shut down a little bit, and Kareem Hunt kind of pulled the load, with a very, very minimal amount of carries. That running game is unstoppable, but you got to look at the quarterback situation over there. Baker Mayfield, man, that dude is a gump, man. He be lunching. If when that running game ain't clicking all the way, you cannot rely on him to get you those little 6-yard passes. He just be lunching.
I mean, yes, there's no. I mean, we all know Baker has his moments, but I think, look, one of his biggest things that used to bother me about Baker Mayfield was very similar to the things about Dwayne Haskins. He's got those happy feet, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like he's been a lot more solid with his footwork this year. I mean, I could be wrong, but I haven't seen a lot of that. Like, oh man, here it comes.
Yeah,
what am I gonna do?
He's been better at that climbing backwards kind of thing he does, where he be backpedaling and whatnot. In his statistics, he was one of the top-rated quarterbacks off the play action this past week. I remember that. So,
and that running game helps that.
Oh, definitely. If he can just stay. Also, here's the thing: you can't have those kind of games from him where like his wide receivers ain't doing nothing. They got to step up and just give him a little bit of help. Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham are just those kind of wide receivers that are like, they'll bust or they'll have a really good game, but most of the time you see those guys under 10 points, it's like they're not really flashing for Baker Mayfield. So if he could get the running game going even just a little bit, not necessarily like relying on it where they just running it every down, but if they can get the running game going just a little bit and then be able to work some play action and be able to get the ball to these wide receivers, then Dallas is going to be in for a surprise. If their defense gets on their heels and they get down 2 scores, wow, Dallas is going to be in trouble. But I have more faith in Dak Prescott coming back from a deficit than I do Baker Mayfield.
Facts. I'll give you that. So, I mean, me personally, I want to pick the Cleveland Browns to win, and I don't remember if I picked Cleveland or Dallas on our Thursday show. So I'm just going to go against the line here. And that 4.5 is that's opened up some windows, especially the way these Cowboy games have gone. So I'm going to take Cleveland to cover the spread at 4.5. And I'm going to also take the over at 56. That's kind of crazy, but I think I'm going to take the over, and I'm going to take Cleveland plus 4.5. Fantasy wise, you can always stack Dallas. That's for sure. And I like Nick Chubb, and I think Nick Chubb has a huge game today. We do have a question from one of our viewers on Twitch. They want to know Hollywood, Shark, or more. So I'm assuming you're asking, this is a 3-headed question. Hollywood Brown for the Ravens, DJ Chark for the Jaguars, or DJ Moore for the Panthers. Whew.
I like DJ Moore and Hollywood in that one.
I do. Either one of those two. If you're doing season long, this is the thing. There's a possibility Ravens get up real big early.
And that's the problem with that. And then when they run in the rock to kind of close out the clock, Hollywood ain't going to see too much. So I'm a little worried about that. I think DJ Moore against the Cardinals probably be more of a closer game. Yeah, and they might be trailing. So you might get some cleanup in the fourth quarter, get you some more stats.
I like DJ Moore in that situation for sure.
And then Chark with Gardner Minshew, man, like Gardner has to play a perfect game for them to look good. He is that offense, even if the running game is going, the new kid, James Robinson, he's doing well, but it's like you got to have a good game out of Gardner Minshew to see a real flow in their offense. So I'm not banking on that quite just yet.
Man, we got another question. This is tough. DeAndre Hopkins or Calvin Ridley. Now, this is a standard league, so you don't get point per reception, and both of them are technically questionable right now. So
if we could rule out the questionable part,
I'm
definitely going DeAndre Hopkins here. Carolina Panthers, man, they have the 9th worst pass defense. So, I mean, I'm looking at the Cardinals go out there and get their man.
I'm going to ride with Calvin Ridley until Calvin Ridley shows me he has a bad game. That kid is on fire this year. So I'm riding with Calvin Ridley. All right, we're going to move on to the next game. While we are moving on to the next game, do not forget to hit that thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed, hit that notification bell as well. We got 2 0-3 teams going head-to-head. The Minnesota Vikings 0-3 at the Houston Texans 0-3. The Texans are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 54.5. Kyle, if you're still here, I know you a big Texans fan, man, but the Texans have had a brutal schedule. Now, both of these teams, I think, are better than their records indicate. Now, defense is just god awful this year. I don't know what happened. They're bad. They are definitely bad. In this game, Dalvin Cook, I think he's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
Sleeper running back
it's a game built
is going to be David Johnson for Houston Texans. Has quietly put up some good numbers fantasy-wise so far this year. I like him a lot. I think Will Fuller has a huge day against this Minnesota Vikings defense today. On the Minnesota Vikings side of the ball, I mean, you could play Thielen if you were in a desperation mode, but I think Deshaun Watson comes out on fire on this game. I'm going to go the Texans will cover the 3.5, and they think they win outright, and I definitely think we hit the over-under on this game at 54.5. What about you, Awthentik?
I'm going to go completely opposite.
I
think Dalvin Cook is the guy to definitely look for in this game. Houston is allowing the league worst 188 rushing yards per game. So, I mean, I could see Minnesota just grounding and pounding this the whole game.
Can you say that one more time for the people in the back?
The Texans, they're allowing a league worst 188 rushing yards per game.
Good God.
So, and Minnesota's offense don't look great, but I think that offense, the way it's built this year, is built to run the ball for real and then capitalize off play action. The Texans have been struggling, man. I like Will Fuller, but I think that he's suffering from not having another real number one talent over there. We know how that went. And
I'll pull this one up for that.
That offense is just not quite clicking. Deshaun Jackson, I use him as an example.
Deshaun
Watson. I used him as an example last week of like a younger quarterback who's been struggling, but the league definitely has faith in him. They look at him as a star for sure. But I mean, Deshaun Watson has led the league twice in being sacked. And I mean, the offensive line has never quite been there. Their running game always kind of struggles. I like to pick up from David Johnson in the offseason here. He's a back who was proven, but then the wrist injury did kind of it seemed to kind of downhill his career a little bit. But he's on the bounce back. But I got to go Vikings in this game. And I'm going to take the under. I think it'll be something real low, like 16-13 or something.
Wow.
Stupid. Yeah, something crazy like that. If they run the rock, according to schedule, that is.
Awthentik hits them with they not going to get there.
They're not going to get there.
Well, all right. You heard it here. That's a bold. That is a bold. That's probably one of the boldest statements of the day today.
That Vikings offense has not been playing well, and I wouldn't have picked them here, but the Texans are just so bad against the run. Give Dalvin Cook 30 carries, man. See what happens.
Yeah, I think, and now I'm beating myself up a little bit.
You ain't like that last in the league
just,
in rushing.
So Dalvin Cook is super expensive on DraftKings, and rightfully so. And
Kyle Key said the people in the back heard it the first time.
I only have Dalvin Cook in one of my lineups today on fantasy on DraftKings, and I'm kind of kicking myself. Should I have him in more? That's tough. All right, we got a quick.
I like that question right there. I was going to be
Greg
Ward
I like
that.
Or Justin Jefferson.
Greg Ward balled out last week.
There is nobody catching the ball for the Philadelphia Eagles right now. He is hands down, everybody's hurt for the Eagles. Everybody. There's no Jalen Reagor. There's no Alshon Jeffries. There's no Deshaun Jackson. There's Greg Ward, and then there's a rookie wide receiver who I like, John Hightower.
The Eagles are showing you why you got to draft and build a team around toughness, man. Them dudes they be dropping like flies, bro. 2 years in a row. When you signed Deshaun Jackson, you know what's up. You know, as soon as he take 3 big hits, ankle, hamstring, he got too many liabilities, man. I would not have signed that guy.
So the question here is Justin who I'm high on Justin Jefferson, have been all year, have been since the draft. I thought the Eagles should have drafted Justin Jefferson instead of Jalen Reagor. But Greg Ward, I mean,
he's risky. He's risky.
They're both a little risky because Justin Jefferson's only had one huge game, albeit it was a big game. Yeah. He had 175 yards receiving, I believe, last week. I mean, I'm going Justin Jefferson.
I'm going Justin
Jefferson.
Too,
that's where I'm at.
Greg Ward, I remember he filled in a few games last year, and he's serviceable, but he's not the kind of guy I think you want to bank on for some real fantasy points, try to get a win.
Yeah. So we're going to hit this question.
And I want to say real quick before we leave that last question.
Yeah.
I don't think he had a touchdown last week.
Who, Justin Jefferson?
No, Ward for the Eagles. Yeah. I know he had a big game, 9-10 catches, but I don't think he had a touchdown.
He might have.
Sure. He might have.
Yeah. So we're going to answer this question because this is going to go right into the next game. Myles Gaskin, running back for the Miami Dolphins, Devante Parker, wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, or Mark Ingram for the Baltimore Ravens. This is the thing. Myles Gaskin, I don't see the volume there for the running game for the Miami Dolphins. Mark Ingram, I think, you're gonna get a heavy dose of J.K. Dobbins at some point if the Ravens go up big. I'm going Devante Parker here all day. I think this next game that we're about ready to touch on is going to be a high-scoring shoot-'em-out barn burner in Seattle Seahawks, who are a 6-point underdog at the Miami Dolphins with an over-under of 54. Seahawks, I believe, are undefeated, right?
Yeah.
Against the Miami Dolphins, who are 1-2. Who you got out of those three?
Oh, out of those three, from the question, I'm going Mark Ingram there because I think the Redskins are a little bit banged up. The Dolphins-Seahawks game is going to be a shootout, but Nah, man, I'm not invested in Devante Parker. I'm sorry, man. I got to go Mark Ingram on that one.
All right. So, what about the game? What you like about this game, Authentic? 'Cause we talked about this line being a little interesting at 6 for the Seahawks.
The Dolphins are surprisingly a little bit impressive, and they do this, man. I think it has to do with their coaching and the
I like Brian Flores. I think Brian Flores is a good coach.
Man, he kind of reminds me of Eric Bieniemy, and I'm looking forward to seeing Eric Bieniemy get a job too, man, and see some more black coaches in the NFL because I mean they're proving that these guys can ball out. As far as this game, I mean Seattle's got to travel all the way to Miami, which is kind of crazy because the Dolphins played on Thursday night, so they've been chilling. You know, they've probably been on the beach getting some rest, some relaxation, lunching out there with all those Floridians and their free COVID laws. You know what I'm saying? Here's an interesting stat. There's one team that has not turned the ball over this whole year so far through 3 weeks, and it's the Miami Dolphins. That's crazy. Fitz Magic. Yo, he left some magic over there for sure. But I still got to go Seahawks, man. I still got to go Seahawks in this game. I think the Dolphins going to keep it close. Seattle has the worst pass defense in the league, so that's why this game is definitely going to be a shootout. But it's still Miami. So I'm gonna just play it safe. I think Seattle will cover, and 54. I'm gonna go ahead and say we're not gonna get there. I don't think the Dolphins are gonna put up enough points for us to get over 54. So I'm gonna say we're not gonna get there.
Oh. I mean, look, if you're playing daily fantasy football, DraftKings, FanDuel, this is a game you want to target. I preached it last week, and that was a winning lineup with Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. Would have been even crazier if Metcalf wouldn't have done that, bonehead
Is that correct?
move.
Tua's first game today?
No, he's like hoping.
Oh, that will be fire. I can't wait for that, man. Everybody was talking about Tank for Tua on the bench.
So I think you're gonna want to stack Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and then on the back end of that, come back with Gesicki at tight end.
Been balling
for the Dolphins. Now, even if you want, you could go really cheap on the opposite end of this game and have Ryan Fitzpatrick as your quarterback. And then stack either with Devante Parker or Preston Williams. I know I've been preaching Preston Williams all year long. And then come back maybe with Metcalf or Lockett on the other side of that ball. I'm interested to see how Chris Carson runs. I know he was questionable coming into this game today.
They were talking about that with the Dallas defender that twisted him up a little bit, kind of looked a little intentional.
Yeah, so I'm gonna.
What did the injury end up being? Do you know what that injury was?
It was a knee or an ankle, I think. But I'm looking at the actives, inactives list right now for everybody. Arizona Cardinals, looks like Hopkins is active. Ravens and nobody of significance. Everybody is playing. Cincinnati, Cleveland. Cincinnati, John Ross is out again for Cincinnati. So
what a letdown, man. That kid, he's so fast, man. I want to see him win, man.
Look at T. Higgins, because T. Higgins has he caught 2 touchdowns last week. He had 9 targets that week and 6 targets the week before. So T. Higgins is a nice sleeper pick for Cincinnati Bengals, who have been throwing the ball all over the field lately.
Preston Williams. He just needs more targets, bro.
Yeah, he does.
5 catches on the year, 74 yards. He's averaging 14 yards a catch, almost 15 yards a catch. Only got 1 touchdown, but he needs more targets.
Mike Williams is out again for the Chargers. Tyrod Taylor's out again. Chris Godwin is out for Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I know
Carlos Hyde is out for the Seattle Seahawks. So if that action with Chris Carson gets a little messed up, you want to look at who else they have over there running in line there. And then Saints, not missing anybody. Washington football team, no Steven Sims. Ooh. So look for a lot of action from Isaiah Wright and Antonio Gandy-Golden. We will get to that.
That's going to be tough
shortly. So that's all the inactives and inactives that have hit so far. Do I think AJ Green is finished? Absolutely not.
Man, he's been on my bench. I drafted him pretty high, and he has not done much, man. And Burrow's been looking pretty good. And then you're looking at Burrow almost breaking the record for the most throws by any quarterback in his rookie season in the first couple games here. He had a game where he threw it 61 times. Like, how is AJ Green not getting the rock? I just don't understand it, man. But he went from being a guy mentioned in that, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham, AB conversation to now being
them injuries.
Yeah. And he doesn't look like he lost a step. That's the crazy thing about it. It's not like physically on the field, he looks like the same guy, man. But he dropped a big one week 2, though.
He'll be back. One of these games, you'll see he's going to come back. It's going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be one of those 152 touchdown games. Might be this week. Who knows? But we'll see. So I like Seattle. I think they cover the 6. I think we hit the over. Awthentik, what did you give me something on that?
I said cover the 6, but I went under.
All right. Don't forget, guys, hit that thumbs up if you are watching. If you're watching on Facebook and you need a question asked and you have not seen us answer your question, it might be because we might not see it. So come to YouTube and check us out. The link will be in the comments section of the Facebook Live video. All right, next game, we got the Chargers 1-2 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2-1. Tampa Bay is a 7-point favorite. It's always a little weird when that's 7 and it's not 6.5 or 7.5. And the over-under is only 42.5 points. Where you at this game, Awthentik? Tell me what you see.
42, we going to get there for sure. I like what I'm seeing out of this rookie quarterback over there. But expect some mistakes. The Bucs defense finished the year last year really good, and they came in this year pretty good as a top 15 defense last year too. I like their front 4. I think it'll set up a lot of short field for Tom Brady. So if you got any players on the Bucs side of the ball, it's too bad that Godwin is out today because I feel like that offense is definitely going to feast. Mike Evans should be getting his man today. I want to see the young bull Ronald Jones get more carries, bro. I think he's like one of the better runners there, but I think Fournette is running well. I mean, Fournette had that game where he only had like 10 carries, broke 100 yards, or he was right around 100 yards. So it is hard to get that kid them carries. So I like the Bucs in this game. It's 7.
7.
Yeah, I think the Bucs cover that 7.
Man, that is so tempting. So tempting to take the Chargers plus 7.
Yeah.
If it was 6.5, 6, I might take Tampa Bay. Fournette is out. Is he? I just looked at the
inactives.
Let me double check that. Did I miss that?
Yeah.
You're right. Leonard Fournette is out. I did miss that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. Your boy Ronald Jones should see the ball more.
Ronald Jones, LaShawn McCoy, and maybe, just maybe, we might see my boy Keyshawn Vaughn, the rookie running back. I've been waiting to see him, man. Been waiting to see him.
And it might be that kind of game where if the Bucs could get up a little bit, and have to run the rock to kind of drain some clock, you might see him get some carries there.
Shout out to my man Jimmy, Uncle B's Old School Flips. He's got an awesome YouTube channel. If you guys haven't checked him out, make sure you go over and subscribe. PJ's got a quick question. Devante Parker or Michael Gallup? Okay, look. Now, there's a lot of wide receivers getting passes over there in Dallas. This is starting to worry me a little bit because you got Gallup, you got that new kid, you got CeeDee Lamb,
Calvin,
Cedric
Wilson, that's his name, yup.
So I'm going Devante Parker. I'm big on Devante Parker this week. I think Devante Parker has a game this week for sure. Uncle B says, we are talking fantasy. Yes, this is every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. The Parlay. We talk fantasy. We talk gambling. So he wants to know, Deebo Samuel, will he make an impact in his return? I think he will. I think they did the smart thing and kind of gave him as much time off to start the season as possible. I think Deebo Samuel steps right in. George Kittle's back too, I believe. So I think look for I love Deebo Samuel because he's one of those guys that can get an end around and run for 40 yards. I was going to say the same thing, and they love giving him
once a game.
Yeah.
But the defenses seem like they don't know what's going on. Like they didn't scout the 49ers. It's kind of crazy. But Nick Mullins, I mean, that should limit, it should limit, how many catches he gets. But, when they played the Giants, I mean, he just lit it up on us, 300-plus yards. It was ridiculous.
Shout out my man Dwayne from Mothership Products is in the building. We got a bunch of people rolling in. Thank you to everybody who is stopping by now. What's going on, my man?
Yeah,
how you been, brother? Yeah, thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up when you come in. We got another quick question we're going to hop to. Darius Slayton or Odell Beckham Jr.?
I think the safer play is Odell Beckham Jr. here. Darius Slayton, when he has bad games, they're really bad games. And this year, he really only had the one breakout game, and I think that's his only touchdown of the year. Giants offensively have been completely struggling. If you didn't see my rant, go back to our YouTube channel. It's on Tuesday's episode. The Giants are dead last in damn near every rushing category. So Daniel Jones is going to have his hands full trying to throw this ball. I will go Odell Beckham there.
Interesting.
And I have both those players on my team. Darius Slayton still might get the start at the flex, but I like Odell Beckham better, more consistent.
So I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to take the Chargers +7, and I think we go way over 42.5.
Okay.
That's where I'm at. You gave us your take.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think the rookie's going to be able to get it done. We talking.
I think it's
but there always has to be a change and a shift from the old guys to the young guys. And, this might be one of those games where you see that.
I think Tampa Bay wins. I just think it's by like 6 points.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to get at.
And they've been a little iffy this year. They remind me of the 2019 Browns. It's like everybody thought it was. And Gronk comes out slow. They're not getting the connection they want from Tom Brady and Mike Evans till week 2. So things ain't quite all the way clicking. But if they can get that rolling on all cylinders, man, that Bucs team is scary because they got a good defense too.
Yeah. All right. So at one point today, before we get through all the games, I'm going to hit everybody with a free DraftKings lineup. I have, I think, 9 or 10 lineups in today's games. So I'll give you guys a couple of free lineups that you can plug and play on DraftKings and hopefully win some money. They don't always hit, but at least one of them does. So maybe we get lucky with the one I show you guys today. But we're going to hop into the 4 o'clock games. We got one 1 o'clock game left, but that's the Washington football team game, and we're going to save that game for last.
That sounds so crazy. Washington football team game. They got to get rid of that.
You know what's funny is that like this shirt that I'm wearing right now. Shout out to Gretz and Awthentik. They got this for me for Christmas.
Hey.
It's like they were ahead of it. It says Washington football, but it still says ACTR across it, and it's got the Redskins logo. So
look for those of y'all that don't live in the Washington D.C. area, right? And the Maryland area, okay? So, like, it's a thing around here, right, where when you go to, like, 7-Elevens and gas stations, they have, like, football apparel, but it'll be, like, a Giants hat, and it'll just say, like, bootleg. New York, right? It'll be super bootleg. And, like, there was so many people rocking those joints that just say Washington, right? And you can keep that gear now. All that other Redskins gear, you got to throw it out. But them gas station Washington beanies, you could definitely keep them joints in the cut, bring them out when they get a little colder. You know what I'm saying?
That is too funny. Hey, my girlfriend has popped in the chat.
Josie.
What's going on, Josie? Josie been in the football pool every week this year, Muhammad's football pool.
Yeah, I heard she doing all right. I heard Fats took some money in that league a couple weeks ago, too.
That's crazy to me. I can't believe that.
He was probably guessing.
Absolutely.
Abracadabra.
Absolutely. All right, so first 4 o'clock game that we're going to go over is going to be the Indianapolis Colts, who are 3.5-point favorites at the Chicago Bears. This game was originally scheduled for 1 o'clock, but when the one of the games got postponed, they had to move this game to the national TV slot. So they're at the Chicago Bears. The over-under is 43 points. The Colts are favored by 3.5. Awthentik, what you like about this game?
I'm not sold on both of these teams. Phillip Rivers, he has a really good offensive line over there with the Colts, and it's just not showing the way it should be. I do have faith that Phillip Rivers can still sling the rock, you know what I mean? But it's just been looking a little sketchy over there. Maybe it has to do with the health of their running backs too, because I know what's his name went down week 1 with the ankle sprain. I had him on my fantasy too. Not Naheem Hines, but the starter that was ahead of him, Marlon Mack. And I think they've been struggling since, but the Colts out the Jets after starting a little bit slow against the Jaguars in week 1. And the Bears, you know how I've been talking about the Bears. The Bears been getting the flukest wins all year long. I don't think the Bears going to get – I think this is where you're going to see the real, true Chicago Bears, you know?
Even with Nick Foles?
Yeah, even with Nick Foles. And I like Nick Foles, but I feel like Nick Foles has not really been able to succeed outside of the Eagles system. Even coming in relief last week or whatever, I think he had 3 touchdowns, but he had the interception and the yards were dummy low. So, I mean, what he did was he capitalized off his opportunities in the red zone, and that can make a quarterback look really good. But I think with this one, 43, I'll take the over. I think we're going to get there. And I got to take the Colts in this one, man. And I think they'll cover. The Colts are favored by 3.5, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think they'll cover.
I think the Colts listen, I am big on the Colts defense in this game. I pretty much have picked the Colts defense in every fantasy lineup that I have on DraftKings. So if they don't do good, I might be screwed in general. But yeah, I think the Colts defense is really underrated. I really like that defense right now. The Bears are the flukest team in the NFL, hands down. No questions about it. The Browns, I mean, the Bears are 3-0. Just doesn't make
it. Don't even sound right.
It doesn't sound right. Absolutely
with Mitchell
makes no
Trubisky
sense. Straight
struggling. It makes no sense, yo.
Yeah, and shout out, hey PJ, you might want to refresh. I think you're a little bit behind, buddy. Chris Senor's in the building. What's going on,
Chris
brother?
Senor?
How you doing? Gretz is also in the building. What's up, Gretz?
Oh, so we got some blue in the building. What's up?
Yeah, there's a lot of blue in
Blue
here.
Nation.
Yeah. Cookie Monster, Colts have a defense. Yeah, they got a defense. I'm pretty sure they do. I really hope they do. I mean, I'm banking on them that they do, so we'll see. But now the Colts wide receiving core is banged up. Michael Pittman got hurt last game after, stepping up. Paris Campbell is out. You got T.Y. Hilton still. Now, I gave you guys last week at tight end, and I think he's going to have another big week with these receivers being down. Mo Alley-Cox. He had a huge game last week. So I think, look for him to have another big game.
Colts defense is ranked 16th out of fantasy, so middle of the road, pretty good.
Yeah,
for a defense,
and they're super cheap on DraftKings right now. So it gives you a little bit of wiggle room for building your lineup, which is what's important when it comes to DraftKings. Shout out to my man Kevin, Pop's Attic of Collectibles, always breaking hottest football cards around. And my man, I got to give another big shout out to Johnny Mac and Jim Bob. If you guys are watching, shout out to them, man. They're breaking some crazy hot product when it comes to these football cards right now, and basketball cards and baseball cards. If you guys aren't hip, get hip, because it's a crazy game right now. I mean, yep, that's where I'm at. Colts covering the spread. They're definitely going to get over. Look out for Mo Alley-Cox. I think he has another one of those big games. Whoever can win 7 games this year will win the NFC.
You're going to be in the mix for sure with 7 wins.
That's
definitely.
For sure.
Dallas, the only team I feel like that could maybe get out of that. If Dallas really get clicking,
yeah, their schedule
they could win 9
eases
games.
up here for about 3 weeks.
It does. It definitely does. They had the Redskins twice, Giants twice. I mean, the NFC East is kind of like, we got the tough schedules, but it's kind of a good thing for the other teams that are doing well, like the Washington football team in first place right now. If y'all can continue to do that, playing teams like the Eagles twice and the Giants twice, I mean, you can mess around and get 4 wins right there.
All right. This is another big game, I think, has some heavy fantasy plays. We got the Buffalo Bills, undefeated. 3.5, only 3.5 point favorites at the Las Vegas Raiders. Over under is 53. Now, I think a lot of people thought that Buffalo was going to be good this year. And I think they thought that they were going to be good because the Patriots were going to not be so great. And the rest of that division is poo. And the Bills have a, pretty solid defense. But that offense with Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen has been major improved from the last, year. And
I mean, he was balling too.
2 years.
He's like very on pace as far as like the maturation of him as a quarterback, because he comes into the league with the big arm, lighting it up, and you saw he had the running ability right away. Now you just see him kind of cleaning up things, and he's doing it with the defense that's not as good as their defense has been in the past. Right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year that defense was on fire, and this year their defense is not as good as it was. So to see him balling out like that, man, winning games right at the end, that comeback win against the Rams, man, how you let the Rams get back in the game, looks like they're going to take the win. You drive your offense right down there and you get the dub. I mean, that dude is showing up, man. He's, of all them young quarterbacks, that's the one I like the most, yo. He's a big kid, too.
He said he's a light-skinned Cam Newton.
Straight up. And he got swag. You be seeing him before the games in his warm-ups. He got a little bit of Kelsey going on. He be swagging, dancing, and he got that young vibe. I saw him turning up to like some Drake or something. I'm like, all right, man.
Look, he was my favorite quarterback coming out of that draft. I said it. And, out of all those other ones, Josh Rosen's, and I forget who the other guy was.
Darnold, right?
Darnold, maybe? I can't remember. But
that's the draft we got Saquon Barkley. And is that Patrick Mahomes' draft?
No, I think that was the year before.
That's the year before. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going heavy, man. I think the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, stack it, bring it back with Waller, tight end for the Raiders. The Raiders receiving core is hurt. They're banged up. A couple of the rookies are out. Ruggs is out. Edwards is out. Renfro and Waller are probably going to have a big game. Now, believe it or not, the Buffalo Bills run defense is not really good right now. So I am definitely running Josh Jacobs against that Buffalo run defense. I think this is going to be a close game, not as close as 3.5 though. The Raiders are a good team. They're not a great team. They're not, playoff yet, but they're getting there. I like the Buffalo Bills to cover, and I definitely like the over of 53. That's where I am with this game. So PJ was asking free lineup. It's free lineup time. Everybody pick two number. We're gonna give you two lineups. So any number between 1 and 9, whichever two numbers have the most votes in the chat, I will reveal that lineup for free. So any number between 1 and 9, I'm gonna give you guys two lineups. So drop those numbers in the chat right now. Any number between 1 and 9. The top two will be the revealed lineups. And then we'll start looking at this game down at the ticker while you guys put those votes in. 1, 9, 6, 7, 5. I need some double numbers. 9.
We got 9.
We got 2 9s. Give me a second number.
What's up, Benny? How you living, bro?
Ben Bayou's here. 6. All right, so lineup number 6 and lineup number 9. Those are going to be the two free lineups that you guys are going to get.
Don't give them no garbage.
It's always a possibility it's garbage. I can't give them all my lineups because, look, this is the thing. When you play daily fantasy sports, you got to remember, sometimes you have to have a lineup that is not, chalk. You want to have a lineup where you have some players that are not all – that are going to be heavily owned, because you have to have some sort of separation if you want to take down, the big cash. All right. So what were the numbers again? 9 and 6?
6 and 9. Yep.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So the first lineup I'm giving you guys: quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick; running back,
decent,
Nick Chubb;
love it;
running back, Josh Jacobs;
love it;
wide receiver, DK Metcalf, Devante Parker, and my cheap option of Shenault Jr. Tight end, Gesicki. Flex, Justin Jefferson. Wide receiver for the Vikings, and the defense, the Indianapolis Colts. I like that lineup, actually.
I like that lineup too. Is run heavy. The running backs definitely stand out, and the wide receivers are serviceable for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not big on Parker, man. I don't be big on I don't know, man. The Dolphins, bro.
So that's the first lineup for you guys: Fitzpatrick, Chubb, Jacobs, Metcalf, Parker, Shenault, Gesicki, Jefferson, Colts. All right, next lineup: 7, 8, 9. This is a sleeper lineup. Kyler Murray at your quarterback. Running back, J.K. Dobbins, Kenyon Drake, DeAndre Hopkins, CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, Mo Alley Cox, Will Fuller, and the Bengals defense.
Some good wide receivers over there.
So that's your second lineup. Kyler Murray at the quarterback. Drake. Your wide receivers are Hopkins, Lamb, and Moore. Tight end, Mo Alley Cox. Flex, Will Fuller, and defense, Cincinnati Bengals. Those are your two free lineups from the Beard.
Shout out to the chat talking about Alfred Morris, man. The Giants just signed him to a little small deal to the practice squad.
Oh, practice squad.
Yeah, so hopefully, man, they were talking about, I saw an interview with Jason Garrett, and he was talking about the practice squad signings this year are a bit different because you're going to see a lot of those guys actually getting on the field game day.
We will see. So we're going to jump into this Sunday night action. Philadelphia Eagles 0-2-1 at the San Francisco 49ers 2-1. The Niners are 8-point favorites. The over-under is 45. I mean, if you want a sleeper wide receiver, I'm running with my man John Hightower for the Philadelphia Eagles. Miles Sanders, I think, gets some love here too. This game, it could get ugly quick. The Eagles, man, I just don't. I mean, and the 49ers are getting more weapons back on offense with Kittle and Debo. Do they cover 8? I'm gonna wait, and I want to see what Awthentik says. What do you think about this game?
I mean, it's a tough one. Both teams just decimated with injury, man.
Yeah.
And San Francisco has shown you that they can play banged up. I mean, they're coming off 2 blowouts. One of them, my New York Giants here. And they've shown you they can play injured. So you got to go with the Niners in this game. 7.
8.
It's 8 now.
It's 8
I had 7.
now.
8 even makes it worse. I mean, nah, I got to say the 49ers cover the 8. Yeah, I think they'll get it. I mean, they've been balling out, man. If Nick Mullins continue to play the way he's played, they'll get it. What's the over-under in this one? 45?
45.
Yeah, and we're going to get there too. Yeah, Giants need all the running backs they can get for sure. I'd rather see Alfred Morris out there on the field right now than probably all them running backs. I ain't going to lie. But I do want to see a little more out of Devante Freeman, see what he could do. But Eagles-Niners, yeah, man. I'm going Niners for that, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go.
I think you sit Kittle. I think banged up, he's not going to come back and have a big game, especially, and it's not his main starting quarterback that he's taking most of his reps with. I don't think he'll have a huge game.
Maybe Ertz. Maybe Ertz has a big game. No Goddard. I mean, who else is catching the ball?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely go with Ertz. Carson Wentz likes to go to his tight ends too, and I mean, he seems to have trouble when he's throwing the ball down the field. They can run the ball and they can run play action and go to their tight ends all day, but they got nobody on the outside to do anything.
Man, it is. Look, I picked the Eagles to win the division.
It's looking ugly.
It's looking ugly.
0-2-1.
Yo, there's a possibility that the Eagles start out like 0-5-1.
Yeah.
I think they play the Steelers and the Cowboys in the next 2 games after this game. I mean, in this game, I'm definitely.
Ooh, they got 2 tough games after this too.
Who they got?
They get the Steelers and they get the Ravens. It's 2 losses. Right?
Yo, shout out to the Eagles fans. Yo are. It's not looking good.
It gets bad too later because, so they got the Steelers and then they get the Ravens. Then they get the Giants, Cowboys, Giants. I don't know why the schedule makers did that this year to the Giants. We play the Eagles and the Redskins within a 4-week span. It's just crazy. It's just silly. But then they got to go against the Seahawks and the Packers and the Saints.
Oh, it's a wrap.
And then Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. It's looking ugly for them. And then they bounce back off that and play the Cowboys and then finish out the season against Washington. Yo. You might want to put a fork in them Eagles, man.
I think it's done.
You might want to put a fork in them Eagles, bro.
I think it's
That's
overcooked.
A lot of tough games, man. So they didn't get the Rams. Did they get the Rams this year?
They lost.
They did. They lost to the Rams early in the year. Yup. Man, NFC East, bro. It's been brutal. Why they got to give the worst division the toughest schedule? It don't make no sense.
Yo, okay. 49ers are going to cover. We're going to get the over. The Eagles is not looking good.
It's not looking good for them Eagles, man. I'm kind of happy, man, because Eagles fans, man, they be on one all the time, bro. I be trying to be that humble Giants fan, keep it cool within the division, and Eagles fans, man, they be jerks, man.
All right. Monday Night Football, the original Monday Night Football game. We got the Atlanta Falcons, who are 0-3 and will find any way to lose.
That defense is so bad. Yo, I'm surprised that they're not the worst defense against the pass, and the Seahawks are. It's kind of crazy, though, that, like, the Seahawks are undefeated with the worst pass defense, and I know the Falcons are up there top 3 worst pass defenses, and they're winless. Makes no sense. Literally makes no sense. With Matt Ryan balling out of his mind, Ridley balling out of his mind, Julio Jones is he ain't been there, but he there. I'm sure that he's drawing some double teams, and he's a lot of the reason why a lot of these other wide receivers are getting, the yards they're getting. But man, that team is. I could not imagine being an Atlanta Falcons fan because I would be losing my mind. Your offense is just frying.
Bruh, I'm done. I am. Listen, look, I'd rather be the Washington football team right now at 1-2.
Yeah, you got to win. Would you rather be a New York Giants fan?
Absolutely.
You would?
Yes.
I mean, there's just no hope for us right now, though. But at least the Falcons have a little bit of hope. If they could somehow stop some pass, they might be able to get back into the mix.
That's why. I mean, at least you're losing with young talent, right? And the Falcons are just
young coaching,
losing.
Young coaching.
The Falcons are just losing, and they're losing in ways that you didn't think were possible.
Who's the coach over there again?
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn. So he was on the hot seat last year, but he finished the year pretty well, and now he's right back on the hot seat. It's kind of crazy.
Look, the fact that the Falcons are even only 7-point dogs is amazing to me.
Hey, what about Dallas too, though, Troy? I mean, Dallas was running the board up on him. If Dallas's defense could do anything in that game, they was going to win that game. I mean, they forced Seattle to punt the ball 7 times, and Seattle still put up 37.
Yeah. Is it the coach? I mean, it's got to be. It's not just the coach. It's all the coaches.
But, man, your players got to take accountability. If I'm the safety on the field at that time, man, make some stops, man. Make a couple stops. The way that Dallas comes back to beat them is just heartbreaking. You feel bad for the Falcons because they lost like that in the Super Bowl. So it's just like, y'all come out regular season going just crazy like this on offense, and y'all defense cannot stop anybody.
So bad. I mean, they're going to get to the over, I'm assuming, 56.5. It's probably going to be like a 38-21.
Yeah, they'll get to the over.
Does that make 6? That makes 58. Yeah.
Yeah.
The way my brain was just working.
Yeah, right. Shout out my man Sergio Cortez on the beat one time.
Yo, I mean, and Aaron Jones is frying. I don't know what
we ain't talk about the Packers enough. Packers been on fire, bro.
Yeah.
Packers been on fire. Are Packers undefeated?
Undefeated.
Yeah, Packers been on fire, man.
And Aaron Rodgers, I think, is 9 touchdowns, maybe 1 interception. If that.
Yeah, and they found different ways to win their games. Oh, that wide receiver went out though, bro. That kid was balling. What's his name? Lazard or something like that? Lazard. He ended up getting hurt, but man, that over the shoulder catch that he made for like 50 yards. I played wide receiver. That's the hardest catch in football, man. And if you drop that, the crowd is gonna send you booze. not this year, but the fans at home.
Send you booze.
Yo. You can't drop an over-shoulder pass. You just can't. But everybody who's ever played the game knows that catch is so hard. When you got to look over your shoulder like that, man. And Aaron Rodgers is dropping them dimes right in there. And he's dropping those traditional dimes. Yeah. I'm going to keep it at 100. I don't like them lollipop throws that Russell Wilson been doing. Them joints that go way up like a punt, come right back down. I like that traditional load up, Joe Montana on a rope kind of a 40, 50-yarder. And Aaron Rodgers been throwing those all year long. Man, this might be a complete blowout. This might be where you see the Atlanta offense really get shut down.
That'll be intriguing, man.
Like, don't let it surprise you if they don't get over that. I'm telling you. Because the Packers, man, if they can come out, what if they come out and they run the ball with Aaron Jones and control the clock? Falcons ain't gonna be able to do nothing.
I'm not exactly sure what Devante Adams is, because it's Monday night. We won't necessarily know for sure.
That dude's always hurt, but he always balling. I'll give him that.
Yeah, but that's
questionable still.
Yeah, so questionable. That's a tough. I hate having questionable players on Monday night. It's the worst. there's nothing you can do.
You just waiting out, hoping.
I mean, I have to double check and see how questionable is. Because this is the thing, is that they don't have probable as a designation anymore. So it's like you really gotta check it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
That only I have been waiting for. I was gonna say all of us, but I don't think anybody's really waiting for this game. I know all those hater Washington football team fans are. Look, I was talking to the fellas. We might be introducing a new segment here, either like on the show or pre-recorded, because let me tell y'all, the things I be reading from these Washington football team fans in the Facebook groups are out of this world. Like I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, Will Ferrell style. It's insane. Yo, I gotta give a big shout out to the homie Kane.
Oh, what up, Kane?
Kane
what
is
up,
in
man?
the building. He said, look, he came in just in time
Right
to say the
time,
Ravens
man.
about to dog the football team today.
I'm with you on that, Kane. Shout out my man Kane, man. MC from around my way. Super lyrical, super dope, bro. The verse, he's the last feature on my album. I just got the verse back like probably a week ago. I just mixed it yesterday. Yo, the bars is crazy. I wish I could quote some of these bars. I got some of them off the top of my mind, but I don't want to butcher his bars. But yo, these lines are crazy. Kane, top 5 MC. I ain't even just talking about around here, just top 5 MC. And he also puts on a dope podcast with former basketball player. I forget his name, but definitely check them out when you get a chance. I need a commercial. Kane, you need to send me that commercial, man.
Yeah,
we'll air that for you.
I still listen to the Running Rebels, Joe.
Oh,
on
yeah,
your last album when I need to get a little hyped up, man.
Yeah, that. I love that record. That UNLV vibe, man.
That Joe got you in the joint like this, like, oh, I'm just a little ready. You know what I'm saying?
Kane,
so
it's funny because me and Kane met in a competition with the local radio station around here, WKYS 93.9, was doing a competition for who was going to open up for Rock the Bells. And Kane actually beat me out, so I was a little bit salty. I ended up getting second, and Kane got first. And then the show ended up getting canceled. I forget why they canceled that day. Oh, funding or something crazy. They canceled Rock the Bells.
That whole thing got canceled.
And then we ended up staying like super tight throughout the years, and then featured on a couple records. I was featured on one of his albums a couple albums back. I featured him on my last album, Nothing More, Nothing Less. And yeah, man, good dude. And the hair game, yo, is crazy. Kane got hair like a superhero, man. He got that Clark Kent vibe going on. You know, it's like combed to the side and faded real tight on the sides and whatnot, man. But yeah, check out my man Kane, man. He definitely got the dope podcast and the rap stuff on Smash. And he also does a lot of battles also in his spare time, too. He's an awesome battle MC as well.
But he's a Ravens fan, so no love.
Hey.
Just messing with you.
I feel you on that. Y'all beat us in the Super Bowl back in 2000. My man Kerry Collins was drinking too many Bud Lights, so yeah.
So the big news right now in Washington is apparently Ron Rivera and the coaching staff sat Dwayne Haskins down this week and said, look, bruh, we're going to need you to do something a little bit better, because if not, you're going to be on the bench, which to me is a little crazy.
Wait, but it depends now. Who's the backup? And is Alex Smith looking like he could play?
No, Alex Smith is
done.
I mean, he hasn't been active one game all year. Well, so Kyle Allen is your backup.
Kyle Allen is serviceable.
He's serviceable.
Yeah.
But are you going to bench somebody who's only played 10 games for somebody who's serviceable?
Here's the thing, man. Ron Rivera pulled Kyle Allen from Carolina for this exact reason, Tim.
I mean, that's
right, because he knew the system. He knew if something was going to go wrong and the season was in limbo where they might have a chance to maybe turn it around, because that's what it's looking like right now for the Redskins. You actually got that early win, which is fantastic for y'all because y'all look like garbage, right?
You're still in first place.
Yeah, and looking bad. And that's why I think maybe those things are coming out. But if I'm the coach or if I'm a part of the people who are leaking whatever kind of information to the press, this doesn't come out. You know, I want teams to still be scheming for Dwayne Haskins. And if I do decide to bring Kyle Allen off the bench, I want it to be a surprise. You know, I don't want teams to know that we might be able, that they got a game plan for Kyle Allen as well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's a smart move by them to leak this. And I think it kind of like, it removes a little bit of confidence from your quarterback, man. Like the dude is pretty much still a rookie. You know, you give them the job, have faith in them. It's nothing like, I don't care on what level of football it is either. It's nothing like having quarterback problems and you that guy, and they're like, man, we're ready to put the next guy in, and you really haven't even had your shot quite yet. Redskins have played a really tough schedule, some tough defenses, some tough fronts. I mean, Dwayne Haskins doesn't look terrible, but I mean, look what happened over there in Chicago. I mean, Mitchell Trubisky sitting on the bench. Why? Because they had a serviceable backup behind them. They knew Nick Foles could come in and play.
Yeah. So shout out to Chip. Message. He wants to know Drew Brees or Fitzmagic. That's actually kind of a good question because look, Drew Brees has struggled, not necessarily struggled, but he hasn't put up those big numbers since Michael Thomas has gone down. I mean,
it's pretty simple. I think you got to go Fitzmagic. Yeah. I mean, Seattle's got the worst passing defense.
There we go. That's where I was going to go.
They got the worst pass defense. And unless they step up and do something crazy here. And the thing is that Seattle's not going to win this game running the rock, I don't feel like. So it's going to be a lot of throwing in that game.
All right. So Washington football team, the D-line. But this is the thing. The D-line ain't the same D-line that it was that week one when we got 8 sacks. No Chase Young, no Ioannidis. But, I am confident in our depth on the defensive line.
Great depth on that front four.
So I think that's going to help. My whole feeling is that, look, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get just 2 scenarios sort of situation here. Okay? You have either Dwayne Haskins getting benched or you have Dwayne Haskins playing the game of his life. Okay? Nothing? Not? I'm just going to put this up here one time.
Game of his life was last year against the Eagles.
But look, I mean, think about it like this.
You think that can happen against this Ravens team, man?
I'm not just saying that. Do I think it could happen? I mean, it's any given Sunday.
I think it's a bit of a trap game for the Ravens because the Redskins have a pretty decent defense. So if they could keep it ugly, the game could remain close. But there's not an option in my mind that shows me Dwayne Haskins having a lights-out game. But I do think he's going to make it through the game. I don't think they're going to bench him. I really think he's going to make it through the game. This ain't the kind of game. And Ben brought up a good point. You did highlight that chat where he said, that kind of pressure from a coach can make or break a player. But like, look what happened to Dwayne Haskins last season. They were doing this same kind of like, let him get his feet wet. And then it's kind of like, oh, but we might pull you out. We're still trying to win kind of vibe. I think if Haskins is the quarterback and you feel like he is the quarterback moving forward, just put all faith in him for this season and just let him go out there and do his thing, man. I mean, Kyle Allen started off his career pretty decent. And I remember coming into camp, I was talking with a couple homies about it, saying, is there a quarterback competition over there? A lot of people were saying that Dwayne Haskins definitely going to beat him out. I thought he had a chance at winning the job because he started his career fairly well. I remember he was on fire for his first 3 games, and then he came back down to earth. Dude was throwing hella interceptions. But I think that Carolina Panthers team had no identity. It was like kind of like the Giants team with Saquon Barkley in 2018, 2019. It's like, oh, yeah, we got this great running back, but what else can we do, So, I mean, Kyle Allen, I would just leave him on the bench unless Dwayne Haskins gets hurt.
I mean, this is the thing. The reason why I say that he could possibly have the game of his life is because he needs it. Like, how bad do you want it if you're Dwayne Haskins? Like, you basically, your leash is short. You hanging on. You on the edge of the cliff, holding on when, a couple fingers have slipped. Like, are you going to perform under that pressure? Like, you need to have that game. The thing that sucks is that even if he had the game of his life.
Yeah.
I mean, Terry McLaurin isn't even 100% right now.
What is it? Buy him another week? It's the Ravens too, man. I just think you got to have realistic expectations, as an organization,
Okay. So, all right, let's look at the line. The Ravens are 2 touchdown favorites.
Yeah.
Road, even though it doesn't really matter because we're in no fan zone. Do you think that the Ravens win by more than 2 touchdowns today, Awthentik?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. Man, don't forget that they just lost their 3rd straight loss to Patrick Mahomes with Lamar Jackson as their quarterback.
That's the big thing.
They looking at y'all like, oh, it's time to get back. Y'all like a tune-up fight for when they get back. So I think they're going to come out and they're gonna run the ball. They're gonna try to run that ball heavy. You're gonna see a lot of RPO from Lamar Jackson, a lot of just different schemed quarterback runs. And I mean, I see him blowing y'all out. This could be like 37-14, 37-13 type. I'm gonna go 37-13.
37-13.
Yeah.
So you're taking the Ravens to cover and the over.
Yeah. I mean, they heated, bro. And you saw Lamar Jackson. He talked about Kansas City being a kryptonite and all that, man. He's the kind of dude, man, that when he has them bounce backs or he has games where he has to bounce back, he does bounce back. And they know that this is a pivotal season. They got to make their Super Bowl run now, you know. Last year, that team was – and then you get into the playoffs and the bye, I swear that bye always hurts teams. So this year, adding the other team to the playoffs, man, I think you want to be a team that don't get the bye. But in this game, yeah, I see Lamar Jackson coming out having a bounce back game and just frying and lighting up the fantasy boards.
Yeah, man. I feel like I need to make another fantasy lineup now. Look, this is how it's gonna happen. I mean, I don't see the Washington football team winning. Does that mean that I'm not, when that clock hits 1 o'clock, I'm not going to be like, we got this. We're going to win. Let's go. You know, like I'm going to be that guy.
Of course, you got to be. I know you, man. You a true fan. You ain't one of these fans that's, the fan from Major League 2 that was in the stand. They'll choke it in the playoffs. That guy, yeah, you ain't one of them guys. You know, you ride or die with the Washington football team. But even through a name change, you know, so I get it. You got to be out there rooting for your team, as I will be doing for my team. And my team looks like straight garbage right now. But, you know, you got to pray and hope for the wins. But then you also got to, week 4, I told you, you got 3 weeks to pick all them BS picks with the Redskins or the Washington football team. And I had those same ones to pick with the Giants. So now it's like, got to make those true assessments. You know, now you got to put your heart and your pride to the side and use your mind. Now, look, as a betting man, it is nearly like a golden rule to never take a spread this big in an NFL. So that being said, the Washington football team will cover the 14 points. And we will get the over. So I'm taking the Washington football team plus 14, and I'm taking the over at 45. That's where I am at. So we'll see. We got a couple extra minutes here, guys. I guess those. Did we do my Giants game, bro? Yeah, we did. Dang. Can we do it again? So I was gonna say you want to do it again. If anybody has any fantasy football questions, I'll remember doing the Giants game, man. Did we not do the Giants game? I don't remember doing the Giants game, but I don't know. 12 and a half. You're right. I don't think we did the Giants game. We didn't do the Giants game. I was saving it. All right. I was saving it. Here we go. We got it. It all makes sense now. No wonder we had 4 minutes left. Yeah, we didn't do this game. Yeah, we didn't do this game. And we should talk about the extra Monday night game. Did we talk about that? We did. We touched on it a little bit. Did we make a pick in that game? No. All right, so let's go this Giants game, and then let's make a pick in that game, and sayonara. New York Giants 0-3 at the Los Angeles Rams 2-1. This is your other double-digit spread. The Rams are favored by 13 points. The over-under is 48. The Giants' offense has looked. Tell me what you think, Authentic. Man, this Giants team, we got to get the running game going today, man. It's been dismal, last in every category. And our defense has been struggling on third down heavily. What's up, Entertainer in the building? What's up, my guy? You right on time. Look, man, Kane came right for the Ravens game and Entertainer for the Giants game. Make sure y'all go check out the Entertainer Talking Sports, man. That's the number one play-by-play for any commentators on YouTube. Big Giants fan. I've been following his channel for a couple years now, man. That's my dude. He got the voice. He got the Cosell. He got the Marv Albert. He really got the commentating voice. He be killing it. So definitely check out his channel. And if you ever can't make it to a TV, he's usually doing play-by-play for a lot of primetime games. So you can check him out there too. So before we jump in, I'm going to just give rapid fire on these questions because I know we're going to get into this game a little bit. Mm-hmm. Julian Edelman or CeeDee Lamb? Ooh, I'm going CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb been on fire, man.
Yeah, and then no Cam for Edelman. I'm going CeeDee Lamb.
That hurts me, man.
Checking in from Periscope. Lost Cam. Need to pick one. Kirk, Foles, Baker, Teddy, Carr.
I'm not going Cousins because I think they're gonna run the ball all day today. Nick Foles, that's a coin flip. Man, that's tough right there. Baker or Teddy Bridgewater against the Cardinals.
I'm taking Carr.
I think I'm gonna take Carr too because they should be in a shootout in that game, and Carr should get some points on the board there, even though they probably won't win that game.
Okay, Kareem Hunt or Jerick McKinnon?
Easy. Kareem Hunt.
Ooh. I like Kareem Hunt, but I might go Jerick McKinnon because I think he's going to get more volume. That'd be my only thing.
And I just like what Kareem Hunt does with his carries, man. Low amount of carries, but just always getting over 80. I just like what he's doing this year. Only one touchdown on the year, though. That's where I'd like to see him improve a little bit there.
Look, this is tough. Josh Allen or Kyler Murray standard. He has DeAndre Hopkins. Typically, I would go with Josh Allen because I think Josh Allen's going to put up more points. But Kyler Murray is going to give you some rushing, and you have Hopkins. I'm going to go Kyler Murray in this game.
I think I'm going with Allen in this one. Like I said earlier in the matchup, the Raiders defense is allowing the 8th most points in the league. So I think that he's going to put a lot of points up through the air, and we know he's going to run the ball. I mean, that's his thing. All
right, let's go. What do you think? Giants, Rams, where you at, Awthentik?
Man, my Giants stink. Yo, Tana, this is the worst Giants team we've seen in a really, really, really long time. I can't think about a team that has been this bad with New York. Just can't do nothing, man. This defense is just awful. It doesn't remind me of the worst defense we've had because that Bethea defense was, man. Shout out to Bethea who went to Howard, but damn, that defense was awful. But this defense is looking pretty bad too. Last in the league on third down conversions. It's 12.5 still. Is that what I'm saying?
13.
It's 13 now. They just keep going up on us. Yeah, we might be the worst team in the league. I'll take the Rams in this game because their offense is just coming in lights out. They were averaging 400-something plus yards a game. But I think the Giants will keep it a little bit closer. I'll go 31-24 Rams.
31-24, huh?
Yeah. Giants wide receiving core is going to struggle, man. I mean, Ramsey out there on the edge, he's going to shut somebody down. Golden Tate probably going to have a tough day today.
Look, I was close. I would have taken the Rams plus 12.5, right? But the 13 scares me. I think that's going to be the number, right? I think they're going to hit it right at 13.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Giants plus 13. That over under scares me. 20. I'm gonna take the under.
I'm not mad at you.
I think it's gonna be 24-13.
I'm still stuck in a little bit of pride, and I just want to see Daniel Jones.
I ain't mad at you. I mean, look,
like I'll take the L, but like, can we just get a decent game out of Daniel Jones, man? Because he showed flashes, man, last year. And just coming right out the gate, his rookie season and preseason, you remember the completion percentage was like 85% throughout the whole preseason. I know it's preseason, but man, Daniel, can we get back? He in these last 16 games, he's got 30 turnovers, man. Like, dude, clean it up.
See, look,
Jason
that
Garrett,
scares
I need
me.
A better game plan.
Aaron Donald.
Oh my God, man. And then our center, man, Nick Gates, he's been struggling all year, man. They've been talking about maybe benching this kid all year or moving him to a different spot on the line. He's going to struggle. Keep the tight end in. I would rather see my team just like run the ball 3 downs every down, punt the ball, than like throwing interceptions and fumbling and going crazy, man. Like, yo, just keep it clean. Just keep it clean, man. This team came out the first 2 weeks. We were like one of the least penalized defenses in the league. And then now we're just like looking really, really bad. The things that they thought looked good on that defense are starting to kind of fall apart. Jabril Peppers is not playing today, man. That's a big key on our defense. Hopefully James Bradbury and the rest of these boys can step up and keep this Rams defense, just contain them a little bit, man, because they've been lighting up the scoreboard. The way they came back against the Bills, man, even though they didn't get that dub, they showed you they're a solid team that's probably going to be around when it's playoff talk. I just hope the Giants can hang, man. But this is a bad game. Going 0-3, and then you got to face the Rams week 4. the Giants, man, this is looking bad. You remember that time the Giants started off 0-6 and we finally cleaned it up a little bit in the second half of the season? This is looking like kind of like one of those, man, if we don't get it together.
Look, any given Sunday, it's not just a movie, it's real life. You have to understand that. I mean, there's always a chance. And it's tough because I was a firm believer in the young talent of the Giants.
Cookie Monster said you're one of us now. Ben says, is it the play calling or is it Daniel Jones? I think it's a combination of both, man. The kid's young. He definitely shows he can play in this league. But a lot of quarterbacks, man, when you put pressure on a quarterback, you see two totally different people. It's Jekyll and Hyde. And we've seen that with Daniel Jones. When pressure's in his face, the kid panics. But then also, I feel like when he gets pressure, sometimes you see some great plays where he scrambles out the pocket and he'll run for a first down, too.
Yeah, we've seen Daniel Jones run. I mean, shoot, he's your leading rusher on your team right now.
Yeah, man. And, I definitely encourage y'all to go check out Entertainer's video on that. Where Giants, if you were to remove the 4 carries from Saquon Barkley in the game where he got hurt, which was like 4 for 40, and if you take away Daniel Jones rushes, they're like averaging a yard per carry or something crazy. It was like 30 attempts for 40 yards, man.
This is a good question.
Terrible, yo.
Sign off on. Could you compare Daniel Jones to another quarterback in the NFL right now?
Yeah. Oh, in the NFL right now.
Yes. I'm assuming that's where I would want to take the question.
If it's right, oh yeah, you took it to right now. I see. I'll give you both then, just so we can make it real clear. If it's right now, I think he has a little bit of Fitz magic because he's a good pocket thrower. He don't got that much zip on his pass, but he can run out of the pocket and do things. Another player who I think is kind of like him, but maybe with a little bit less in the throwing categories is Teddy Bridgewater. Because especially after the knee injury, I feel like Teddy Bridgewater was a better runner before the knee injury.
That's a good comparison.
But now with the knee injury, you will see Teddy scramble. But when it's time, he ain't gonna try to shake no cornerback out there in the open field. He's gonna slide. So I mean, I think you can compare him to Teddy Bridgewater. But I think even a more, I could compare him to Drew Lock a little bit too. But that's a young quarterback. That was one
I was gonna go with too.
But old quarterbacks, I'll go with Joe Flacco. Like straight up clone of Joe Flacco. That's if Daniel Jones plays his best ball, he could look like Joe Flacco and Joe Flacco's peak.
So look, that's exactly where I was going to go if you wanted to go old, was Joe Flacco. And on today's on the good end, I'd say Bridgewater and Locke. I like both of those.
Matt Ryan,
on the bad
maybe
end,
a little Matt Ryan.
On the good end, but on the bad end, when Daniel Jones is bad, it's Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold? Their styles don't even mimic each other to me. Sam Darnold, that one run he had on Thursday night's the first time you ever seen him do that. Daniel Jones has done that 10, 20 times. I wouldn't go Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold is more like Sam Darnold said he was seeing ghosts. I think Daniel Jones has a little bit more confidence.
Oh, that's a good one too. Andy Dalton. I'm not mad at that.
Andy Dalton.
I'm not mad at that.
Because, the ceiling for those guys is high. But then their lows can get really low. And you saw it with Andy Dalton his last 2 years with Cincinnati. I mean, he was like a turnover machine over there. But I think at the peak end of it, he could look like Matthew Stafford too. He don't got quite the cannon because Stafford got a cannon on him.
Stafford's got a cannon for
Daniel
sure.
Jones has a little bit more touch on the pass, but that's what scares me about Daniel Jones is that he doesn't excel extreme in one category, right? It's like when you look at Kyler Murray, you're like, yeah, passing is pretty good. He can sit in the pocket and do those things pretty good, but he excels when he steps out of the pocket. My man Allen over in Buffalo, he has a lot of different tangibles. Big arm, he can scramble out of the pocket. And when Allen gets out the pocket and he sees these little secondary guys in the open field, that's where he starts to look like Cam Newton. He'll run you over. You know what I'm saying? But Daniel Jones, that's what I'm scared about. There's not one feature that really stands out to me. And look at Joe Flacco. He had those 2 years where, he was in his prime. He was balling out. Playoffs was crazy. And then the fall off just is ridiculous with that kid. Goes to Denver and it's like, he even told you, man, I'm not molding no young quarterback. He thugged it over there. And they were like, bro, you got to go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, all right, well, one more.
I'm sorry, Cookie, man. I'm sorry, bro.
That's a good one.
I'm sorry, bro.
Tannehill.
Ooh, Tannehill.
I didn't think about that one. That's probably the best one.
That's a good, accurate comparison, but I think Daniel Jones got a bigger arm. But Tannehill, man, the last couple years, Tannehill has been on fire, bro. Like, I definitely get down with him. He's probably one of the more underrated quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I think style-wise too, that's a really good one.
Cookie Monster, you got to think Joe Flacco, man, in Baltimore, man. Them Super Bowl runs when he was one of the best playoff quarterbacks. Think the high side, man. Don't think the low side of Joe Flacco.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you once again for joining us on our Sunday morning show, The Parlay. It's Awthentik and The Beard. This was a really fun show.
I like this show, man. I can just wake up and kind of just get through it.
I had a lot of fun today.
Just...
I hope you guys got, all your questions answered. You got all your information that you needed. Don't forget that we are live every Tuesday and Thursday night at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, if you can, hit that thumbs up on the way out. Drop a comment after the video uploads. We're trying to get this thing pushed out to the general public.
Don't forget to say a prayer for my New York Giants today, man. We need a win, bro. We got to get off this bench, bro. Hey, Tana, I'm going to be in y'all live stream. Anybody want to come join us and, talk a little Giants, Redskins, garbage, you can come join us over there at Entertainers Channel, man. He'll be doing a play-by-play. And my stream over here, my crib be a little bit behind their stream. So I feel like I'm in like the 40s on the radio listening to Entertainer and Bad Dog, like getting the plays in my earpiece and like losing my mind. My girl's always looking at me crazy. But, hey, that's what New York Giants football will do to you. So definitely, man, this one's real fun, man. I'm going to try to come back with some more fantasy picks next week. My fantasy team is 0-3, and my real team is 0-3. So, yeah, say some prayers for your boy, Awthentik, man.
Renee, last-minute advice. You need 3 out of 4. I'm going Keenan Allen, Robert Woods. Yeah, I'm gonna lean towards OBJ because I think Darrell Henderson is going to just dominate over Malcolm Brown. But Malcolm Brown might get some touches if they blow out. But I'm going to go the 3 wide receivers. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. If you watched on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, any of the above, thank you very much as always. And we will see everyone Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy your football Sunday.
Go Giants.
Giants and Washington football team. We need to win
Go
too.
Giants. Catch y'all next episode, yo.
Peace.